What's going on, everybody? This is Joe.
And Amy.
And we are here with some MTG Arena. Obviously, we play lots of MTG Arena on this channel, as you will probably have seen with all of the Cube sealed events that are going on. Also, to any and all of you that joined us at any point during our Ikoria, or Ikoria, I will get that right soon, but our Ikoria preview stream, where we were sponsored by Wizards of the Coast with our account, and we did our almost 14-hour live stream. Thank you to anyone and everyone that came out, that whether you were lurking, whether you said something in chat, whether you watched it on VOD after the fact, any and all of it that you joined us for, thank you so much for it. We had an absolute blast. And because of it, you would think you guys played sealed for like almost 14 hours, so you're not going to want to play any more sealed, right? So wrong. And now this one we actually keep. The other ones obviously were on our VIP account, not on our regular account. So now that we are doing this during the time where we get free Godzilla cosmetics, we will get Biolante, Plant Beast form, aka Nethroi, Apex of Death. This is obviously cosmetic only, but if we ever get the card, we can have this be what it looks like instead. Amy.
Yeah.
What did you think of Ikoria sealed?
It was fun.
I think...
And it was really fun.
Yeah, I think we did a lot better than I was expecting us to. Feel free to go watch. At least the first two sealeds were the best two. I mean, we did 7 wins on the first 2 sealeds, I think, and then one of them in the middle somewhere we had 7 wins, and all the others were kind of scattered around. We had a 6-win deck as well, but let's see what we get. We did open a Mythic. We also opened 2 Companions. We opened a Tri-Land.
Wow.
And we opened a pretty interesting removal spell, an Extinction Event. Yeah. So Extinction Event, is 3 and a black for a sorcery. Choose odd or even. Exile each creature with converted mana cost of the chosen value. Of our Companions, we have Yorion Sky Nomad, 3, and then Azorius Hybrid, 2 Azorius Hybrid, I should say, for a 4/5 flying with Companion. If we use it as our companion, our starting deck contains at least 20 cards more than the minimum deck size. So if we were to use this companion, we would be playing with 60 cards instead of 40.
Yeah.
And its ability, whether we use it as a companion or it's just in our deck, when it enters the battlefield, exile any number of other target non-land permanents, sorry, not target, but any number of other non-land permanents you own and control, return those cards to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. So if we have a bunch of good enter the battlefield effects, that's pretty good. Also, if we have mutated a bunch, as we learned, if you exile them and then bring them back, they will not be stacked on top of each other anymore. They will be spread out. So, if you were trying for mutate effects, that won't work as well. But if you want to turn a creature that has been mutated like 3 times into like 4 different creatures on the board and just go super wide, that's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Our other companion is Kahira, the Orphan Guard. 1 Selesnya hybrid, so green-white. For a 3/2 Vigilance. If we were to use it as our companion, we would need to be restricted with each creature card in our starting deck being a cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast. And whether we use it as our companion or not, its ability is each other creature we control that's a cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast gets +1/+1 and has Vigilance. Got all that?
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah, I think she's very good. Also, notably, the cool things that are in our hand, that we've opened as rares and mythics, Nightmare, Dinosaur, and Beast.
Nice.
And creates a Dinosaur Beast token.
Nice.
So this is definitely an option, at least.
Okay.
I was saying to Amy before we started, I have heard from other people, and Amy and I are both of the same opinion, having played it ourselves, but we do not love the restrictions given by a lot of the companions. It just doesn't often feel good enough. But I've heard from many, many good players that the companions are completely busted and you should always play them. You should just find a way to put them in the decks. Thankfully, right now, it seems like we're getting help with that, at least for
Yeah.
Kahira.
Yeah.
And we can check our stuff, but that's not that bad. But we shall see. And then our Gruul card, which I apologize for waiting so long to talk about it, Amy.
Thank you.
Is the Quartz Wood Crasher, a 6/6 dinosaur beast with trample for 2 red, green. And it says, because this card seems insane, whenever one or more creatures you control with trample deal combat damage to a player, create an XX green dinosaur beast creature token with trample, where X is the amount of damage those creatures dealt to that player.
That's interesting.
That seems disgusting, and it seems like it could get out of hand very quickly. So, and obviously we have, again, like I said, the Sultai Triome, or the Zagoth Triome. So let's see what else we can do. We also didn't look at our Mythic, which is Fiend Artisan. It is a 1/1 Mythic, so it better do something pretty darn good. It notably costs Golgari Hybrid, so black-green, black-green. Fiend Artisan gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. And then for X and green or black, and tap it, sack another creature. Search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less, put it onto the battlefield, and then shuffle your library, and activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. Seems interesting. You do have to tap it to use it. This seems a little confusing to me, but I feel like there are enough graveyard synergies. There are some cards that, like, when it comes into play, you mill 3 cards or something like that, So there are definitely ways to abuse this if we wanted to. And if we look at the fact that this can be just double green, this can be double green, and this can be red-green,
Right.
we might have an avenue that we want to go. Also, this is green, black, blue. So if we wanted to play black as well, if we wanted to play blue, we wouldn't then be able to play this, unfortunately. A little awkward, but we'll figure it out once we get in.
Okay.
So, as we were doing during the stream, we can go to our gold cards first
Okay.
to see what direction they point us in.
All right.
Our non-rare and mythic gold cards. Primal Empathy, first of all.
That's good.
This card is incredible. Primal Empathy is 1 green-blue for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card if you control a creature with the greatest power among creatures on the battlefield, and if you don't, so otherwise, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control. This card's great. It's definitely, in my opinion, just from the brief opportunities that I've had to look at this format so far, this has been my favorite card that I've seen, either played against us or played by us so far.
Nice.
And interestingly, everything but this on this page, and like this, could go in our deck if we were to try to make this deck.
What deck?
This deck, basically.
Oh.
If we were to try to do Sultai, we could have this. We'll save the companions in case it works out. No, this is a human wizard, so probably not, but that's fine. We can figure it out. Yeah, this is a human warrior, but it can be played for double black. This can be double black, or green, to be fair, if we're going that route. Kahira, oh right, we said we wouldn't. Hold on. Thornwood Falls can get in, the Triome can get in. We can just go those 3 colors, and all of these work for us so far.
Yeah, but are they what we want?
Well, we will see. I mean, all this stuff is pretty darn good, I won't lie. But you're right. Let's see what else we can do. So let's turn that off. Do you want to look at any particular colors?
Well, if those are the colors you want to play, we'll check those first, and then we'll check the colors that aren't that to see if they're good enough to beat out the ones that you want.
Okay. So the Sultai colors are here. So our blue seems not great.
Leaving Otter.
thieving. Well, there's 2 thieving otters, not bad. We've got capture sphere, which is good.
Frostlinks.
Frostlinks is great. Double startling development. I tried to use this and it didn't really work out in our favor. This card's fine, but it's 5 mana. Amy, I know you love your crustacean.
Yeah, but he's terrible, so.
Yeah. I mean, counterspell. Counterspell.
Nice.
Counterspell. Counterspell.
That's one I haven't seen, at least.
Yeah, I think somebody used it on us, but it was, I believe, only once. But it says counter target spell that targets a permanent you control and then draw a card. So it's somewhat limited in terms of what it can counter.
Yeah.
And I would say even more limited than this, which can only counter creatures. And this counters unless they pay 4, and this just flat counters. Yeah. So interesting. But yeah, I mean, we could go a little bit more control-y in our blue and take some counter spells. With our black, we have only 1 Whisper Squad, so probably not good enough. We have 2 Boot Nippers.
Okay.
We have 1 Coil Bug. I'm not a huge fan of the Coil Bug, to be honest. I am a fan of Heartless Act, though. Instant speed, choose 1. Destroy target creature with no counters on it, or remove up to 3 counters from target creature.
Oh.
2 mana, instant speed. Very, very good. Unlikely Aids, Bastions, Night Squad Commando worked out well for us when we got to play it. I mean,
It's a good one.
you know, it doesn't need to be in a human's deck, although of course it wants to be in a human's deck.
Yeah.
Bushmeat Poacher, we never really used to much effect, but I've seen other people use it to pretty good effect. I mean, it is a 2/4. It's got a pretty good body for blocking, at least somewhat early on, although it's 4 mana. But later in the game, you can kind of be blocking with your other things and then using this to sack those things and gain life and etc. And do some fun shenanigans. I don't love Dark Bargain. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 2 in your hand and the other into your graveyard. It deals 2 damage to you. I don't love it. Extinction Event was good every time it was used against us. We haven't gotten a chance to use it yet. Insatiable Hemophage is 3 and a black for a 3/3 Death Touch, or we can mutate it for 2 and a black. Whenever this creature mutates, each opponent loses X and you gain X, where X is the number of times this creature has mutated. We have double Lurking Deadeye. We have 1 Blitz Leech, which is 6 mana for a 5/2 flash, and when it enters, target creature and opponent controls gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Remove all counters from that creature. And our last black card, Chittering Harvester, 5 and a black for a 4/6 Nightmare, or we can mutate it for 4 and a black. Whenever this creature mutates, each opponent sacrifices a creature. Which is very good.
Yeah.
Adventurous Impulse is okay. Look at the top 3. You can reveal a creature or land, so it's a way to like start the game off somewhat ahead. The Essence Symbiote, if we are mutating, is very good.
Yeah.
It's otherwise just a regular bear, 1 and a green for a 2/2, but whenever a creature you control mutates, you put a +1/+1 counter on that creature and gain 2 life. Very awesome. Double Humble Naturalist. Tap to add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a creature spell. It's 1 and a green for a 1/3, so it's an okay blocker, and it can tap for any color of mana. Survivor's Bond we don't love, although there are 3 of them. We can return a human from our graveyard to our hand, and or return a non-human from our graveyard to our hand for 2 mana. Sorcery speed. We have Barrier Breach. I don't recall. Oh, okay, that's why. For 2 and a green, it's instant exile up to 3 target enchantments. That's not terrible, and it does have cycling, so we could probably put that in just because there are a lot of capture spheres and pacifisms and things like that going around that are enchantments that we would want to get off of our creatures that, you know, if we mutate a bunch and then they pacify it, that feels really bad. Or if they capture sphere it, that feels really bad. So being able to exile them is good, and if we don't come across any enchantments that we want to get rid of, then we can just cycle this and draw another card instead.
Yeah, that's true.
Charge of the Forever Beast is pretty good. 2 and a green, sorcery. As an additional cost to cast, we reveal a creature and from our hand, and then this deals damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to the revealed card's power, which is pretty awesome. And it's got Bracos on it, because he's cool.
Yeah.
Double Thwart the Enemy. Don't love this card. Love that it's a story spotlight, though. Auspicious Starix. This is a great card. 5 mana for a 6/6, or 5 and a green to mutate it, and whenever it mutates, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile X permanent cards, where X is the number of times this creature has mutated. Put those permanents onto the battlefield.
Wow.
Very, very good.
What is Asterix?
An elk, clearly. Elk beast, seemingly. Honey Mammoth is an elephant, 6 mana, 6/6. When it enters, you gain 4 life. So, and then all the gold cards that we saw.
All right, so do you want to just start making a deck out of this and then see how we feel about it?
I kind of want to check our red-white just in case.
Okay.
So, let's check our red-white. We have Fight as 1. It's a pretty good card. Double Garrison Cat, which we enjoyed. Just something to get down early. It can eventually make humans, and that's a relevant creature type. We have Double Light of Hope. We didn't really use this to much effect. No. Checkpoint Officer is very good. Tapping a creature is always important. We only got one of them, but still. We have 1 Divine Arrow. Very good removal spell.
Yeah.
1 Perimeter Sergeant. This was always good for us, especially in a human deck, and obviously that's kind of what you want it to be in, but if it's not in a quote-unquote human deck, you could still probably play it. It's a 3 mana 3/2. Splendor Mare, 3 mana 3/3 lifelink, and you can cycle it, and if you do cycle it, you put a lifelink counter on a creature, which is great. And we got 1 of those. I don't know that I love the Stormwild Caprador, but it's a flyer, 3 mana 1/3 bird goat with flying.
Dumb.
If non-combat damage would be dealt to it, prevent that damage, and put a +1/+1 counter on it for each 1 damage prevented this way. It's just that I can't... Obviously, our opponents aren't going to be trying to, like, burn this because they know what its ability is. So, unless we were going to be burning it in some way, there would probably be no reason...
Burn it, baby.
There would probably be no reason. I mean, to be fair, it combos really nicely with Rumbling Rockslide, which we got 2 of.
Oh.
That deals damage to target creature equal to the number of lands we control. So if we have like 5 lands and we play it on this, this just gets +5/+5, which would be really awesome. But
yeah.
There's the Huntmaster Liger, which is a very good mutator, we learned.
Yes.
Very, very good. Vulpikeet, also a good mutator. Whenever this creature mutates, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. But this thing being in the stack of mutate creatures gives that mutating creature flying, which is awesome. Coordinated Charge is good. It's kind of expensive. Creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. We had the Heightened Reflexes. I know you love the art. Mm-hmm. I don't fully love the card as much. It's fine. Blitz of the Thunder Raptor. Look at the little guy again.
He's so cute.
Yes, he is. 1 in a red for an instant. Blitz of the Thunder Raptor deals damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to the number of instants and sorceries in your graveyard. If that creature or planeswalker would die, exile it instead. We don't really have a ton of instants and sorceries. I mean, from what we've seen in red, maybe, like what I'm looking at down here, but yeah, I don't know that we'd be going that hard into it. Cathartic Reunion, discard 2, draw 3 for 2. Sorcery speed, it's whatever. Drannith Stinger, 2 mana, 2/2. Whenever you cycle another card, Drannith Stinger deals 1 damage to each opponent, so this wants you to be cycling. We don't really have a big cycling deck that it looks like we're going to be able to make. Fire Prophecy is amazing. Deals 3 damage to target creature. We can then put a card from our hand on the bottom of our library, and if we do draw a card, very awesome. Very, very good. Go for Blood is a fight spell for 2, but you can cycle it for 1. It's not bad. Flame Spill is 2 and a red for an instant at uncommon. Deals 4 damage to target creature. Excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead, which is pretty good. Nice burn spell. Triple Prickly Marmoset. Again, it wants to be in a cycling deck. Look at its ability. Yeah. Whenever you cycle a card, it gets +2/+0. We have 3 of them. So there's that. The Ferocious Tigerilla is good, and we got 2 of them. Yeah. So 4 mana, 4/3, and it can either have Trample or Menace. Not bad at all. Rumbling Rockslide, 2 of those is very good.
Yeah.
And the Rooting Moloch, 4 and a red for a 4/4. When it enters, exile target card with a cycling ability from your graveyard. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. I think we have some nice burn in red. I think that our red really wants us to be in the cycling deck, especially with triple Prickly Marmoset. Right. But I don't see a ton of other cycling payoffs on our stuff, to be completely honest. Right? Like, yeah, I just really don't. I don't think the cycling deck is really here, unfortunately. Okay. What do you think?
I think
Go ahead, sorry.
I think there's some good stuff here in red and white that we've played a million times.
Okay.
I feel like the blue, black, green that we had going is stuff we haven't played.
Okay, and is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a good thing.
Okay, so we want to try that.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so with that being said, I guess we can start with the gold stuff since that seems really good. Let's do those 3. I guess we can do the Jungle Hollow as well. We want the Fiend Artisan. We don't want these lands. We want the Howl Bonder. Do we have a lot of Menace? Doesn't seem like we do.
I wouldn't think so.
No, I wouldn't either. In fact, I don't recall many, if anything, having Menace.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't heard you say that.
No. Okay, well, we'll do all that. Again, we'll look back at these. We can just put them in the deck if we want.
Your screeching thingamabob in the right-hand corner there.
Oh, the Essence Symbiote. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, we can... Do we do the Naturalist? Yeah, because we've got 3 colors in the deck, so yeah, that gets in. Ooh, we had 2 of them? We'll wait on that. The Starix can definitely go in. The Charge can go in. We're going to put in one of these, because it cycles. We only had one, so that's fine. This is great, so we'll put that in. You said no on this?
It's fine.
We'll come back to it then.
Yeah.
We can put the Hemophage in, though. We'll put Extinction Event in for removal.
What about the Lurking Deadeye?
We can think about the Lurking Deadeye. Lurking Deadeye is very good. Heartless Act definitely goes in. Night Squad Commando should go in.
Oh, okay.
The 3 mana... Because as long as we've attacked, we get a 2/3 and a 1/1 for 3.
Yeah.
It's just a fine card. We'll think about Bushmeat. We'll think about Deadeye. Let's look at the rest of our blue. Do we want to go counterspells?
Yeah, it doesn't look like we have a ton else for blue.
That's fair. So there's that. This, by the way, can be mutated onto. And so then you can be tapping 2 to untap it. It gives something flying, so...
It's a low drop, so you can get it out soon.
Yes. So we'll do the Keep Safe, we'll do the Convolute, we'll do the Frost Links, we'll do the Neutralize, we'll do the Capture Sphere, we'll do the Frost Veil, we'll do 1 Thieving Otter. Because that's 39.
Okay. Do you want to do Kahira?
There's Kahira and there's Yorion. So if the people that I have been reading comments from are to be believed, this is an elemental jellyfish.
Okay.
Does Kahira care about elementals? Is that one of the...
Yes.
Yes. So elemental is fine. Essence Symbiote is a beast.
Yep.
Humble Naturalist would not count, so that would have to come out. Fiend Artisan is a nightmare. Frostlynx is an elemental and a cat. Thieving Otter is an otter, so that would have to come out.
Oh, okay.
This is a human soldier, so that would have to come out. This is a human wizard, so that would have to come out.
Oh, I thought it was an owl.
No, it's the Sky Bonder, so it's the woman
It's
bonding
the
with
woman
the
on
owl.
it, yeah.
The Hemophage is a nightmare, so that counts. This is a beast, so that counts. This is a nightmare. So we might be able to do that. Just do a couple of cuts and put Kahira as our companion.
Yeah, because we have other things that can go in those spots. It's not like we don't have something.
Yeah, so it's showing us now what can't be in the deck anymore.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
So those come out, and everything else is good.
Yeah, that was only 3 things.
Yeah, and now we need 5 more cards, which should...
We got boot nippers. We got...
Yeah.
The adventurous... whatever that is.
Adventurous Impulse to sift through stuff. What does this say? When it enters, create a 1/1 human, and then whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1, you gain 1. +2/+0 and indestructible is not bad. So what we can do is double Boot Nipper, Unlikely Aid, and then Adventurous Impulse.
1 more.
I know. We're somewhat restricted, but it's fine. I think this deck will be pretty good. Okay, we can maybe put in the Bastion so that when our stuff dies, we get some incremental benefits. Or we put in a Startling Development to turn one of our smaller guys into a 4/4 until end of turn. Plus it has cycling.
That sounds good.
Okay, then let's do that. Do we want something besides the Swiftwater Cliffs as our box art?
I didn't see any Seb McKinnons that we're not playing.
Correct.
And they don't have my little black guy.
Right.
My little porcupine thing.
Correct.
So I'm at a loss.
All right, well, what about this art?
It's pretty sweet.
Right? Otherwise, we could just do Kahira.
Yeah.
The little guys on there. Is that good?
Yeah.
All right, let's try this. Maybe we will do one fight in this episode, and then we'll cut to next week and see what we can do. Notably, Kahira does need double green to cast, so that's something. Haxolotl. Okay, interesting name. I like that. Well, we have all three colors easily. We do have the double green. We have Boot Nipper early. We can mutate onto it for 5. So that's okay.
Okay.
And we have Kahira on 3.
Nice.
So there's that. But we can play the Triome turn 1 because Boot Nipper costs 2. We could probably do... Yeah, okay. That's good. We'll do Triome turn 1, and then we can do, like, Forest, Island, play Kahira, but obviously play Boot Nipper turn 2. Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I think so, too. And we'll give this, what, Death Touch or Lifelink? They have an Ominous Seize. Very nice. Ooh, Startling Development. Okay. We'll do this, because the Triome taps for black. What do you think?
I don't know. That's up to you.
It's up to me.
Yes.
Kahira's going to come down, so I guess we put Death Touch to protect Kahira.
Okay. That's a good idea.
Thank you. Because this will be a 3/2 once Kahira comes down next turn. And our opponent knows any land we play gets us Kahira. So, let's do that. Attack for 3. Oh, and Vigilance, of course. Perfect. Alright, so they have 2 on Ominous Seas. Now, it is an enchantment, so if we draw that card, we can exile this before they get 8/8 Krakens on the field.
Nice.
So there's that. 4 mana, we cannot mutate anything, nor can we hardcast this. But we can play the thing that helps us with that. So, do we play this? I don't think we need to leave up Startling Development right now. So we'll play the Thornwood Falls, gain a life. Oh, it's so loud and it takes forever to stop being a thing. Very annoying. They take 6. Wow. Oh, we can still cycle that. I was like, why does it still say we can do something with that? Cycling. Next turn, we can mutate this and make them sack a creature if they play a creature. Hey, they played a creature. We would probably mutate this onto here, maybe?
Yeah.
Pass to attackers. Sure. We drew another land. Lots of land. Alright, well, whatever. Let's mutate onto the Boot Nipper. We will make it go on top because it's a 4/6. They have to sack it. Oh, they conceded immediately. Okay.
Okay.
Well then, that seems like it's going to work out nicely.
Yeah, I think this deck is good.
Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Obviously, if you are unaware, we do like to take our time when deciding on decks and stuff. We're not sitting here being like, well, the optimal decision would be click, 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 and not tell anybody what we're doing. Just be like, this is what's going on. We like to take our time, read the cards. It is a new set, but also that's just kind of what we do here. So if you are new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. No matter what, we hope you enjoyed yourselves on this video, whether you're new or not. Please leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Did we make the right deck? Do you disagree with some of our choices of what we put in versus what we took out? Do you agree with what I have heard that companions are completely busted? Or do you think they're overrated? We would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Any comments that you leave like that, liking, subscribing, sharing, ringing bells, all the YouTube stuff, checking out our other channels as well. We have multiple channels here from Geek for all of that helps us out immensely. We are smaller channels. We are up and coming. So every little bit helps.
Yes.
And during this time of COVID-19, we hope that everyone is continuing to stay safe and happy and healthy.
Please do.
And our thoughts are with all of you and your families during this time as well. We are continuing to stay safe and socially distanced, so we want to make sure that we have fun stuff out here for all of you.
Yes.
So, for now, from us here at the Geek for All family of channels, I have been Joe.
And I'm Amy.
And as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.